Hello, everyone. Welcome back to VOC Weekly English News. My name is Alvin, and I'll be bringing you some of the most important and compelling news around Chinland this week. Here are tonight's news headlines. A joint statement released by 18 Chin revolutionary groups called for unity resistant against the common enemy as the top priority during the revolution. They agreed that issues related to regional territories and ethnic identity should be addressed through political means after the revolutionary period. The Chin National Front, CNF's involvement has reportedly been reduced in the nomination process for representatives from 3 different groups to participate in amending and supplementing the 2023 Constitution of Chinland under the Chinland Council. The Global Kumi Organization, GKO, has strongly condemned the Arakan Army's AA's movement to incorporate Balawat Township of Chinland into one-of-a-kind state's districts. This week, we'll also take a closer look at this and other developments concerning Chinland and the Chin people. Chin revolutionary groups call for unity and political solution post-revolution. On June 19, 18 Chin revolutionary forces issued a joint statement titled "For Chin National Unity," urging all Chin resistant groups to prioritize fighting the common enemy and to set aside disputes over territory and ethnicity until after the revolution, when such matters should be addressed through political means. The joint declaration emphasized the importance of avoiding diverse language and behavior that could lead to misunderstanding among Chin-resistant groups. It called on all parties to commit to mutual respect and solidarity and to stand united in the fight against the military dictatorship. According to the statement, the Chin revolutionary groups acknowledged that the internal clashes, efforts to resolve disagreements through armed means, and the weakening unity between armed groups and the public could severely hinder the people's struggle for liberation and derail the broader goals of the Chin national revolution. The groups reaffirmed their shared commitment to defend the Chin community and their territories and to work hand in hand with the public toward national unity and the reconstruction of Chinland. They paid tribute to the emergence of all Chin revolutionary forces that are striving for the fall of the military junta, the establishment of a genuine federal democratic union, and a self-determined Chin state. The joint statement was released by the following 18 entities: Zotung Federal Council, CDF Zotung, CDF Matapi, CDF Galé Kabo Gango, CDF Hakka Central Council, CDF Tantang, Lautu Regional People Administration, CDF Lautu, Zopeiram Council, CDF Zopei, Maraland Council, CDF Mara, Balawat Council, CDF Balawat, Mindet Council, Sentang Central Council, SRF, Didim Township Council, PDA, Tado Council, CDF Tado, Donzang Township Council, CDF Donzang, Siyin Regional Council, CDF CDM Siyin, Gamplet Council, Zanyet Land People's Organization, CDF Zanyet Ram, and Huanguram People's Organization, CDF Huanguram. On the other news, CNF's representation reportedly reduced in the Chinland Council's constitutional amendment process. The Chin National Front, CNF's representation has reportedly been reduced in the recent reconstruction process for amending and supplementing the 2023 Constitution of Chinland, especially in the delegation of representatives from 3 key blocks to the Chinland Council. Under the original 2023 Chinland Constitution, the Chinland Council consisted of 27 representatives from the Chin Parliament, formed by those elected in the 2020 general election and involved in the anti-junta resistance, 27 representatives from the CNF, and 86 representatives from various township and regional groups. However, in the amendment structure, the council now includes Representatives from the 2020 election Chin Parliament members involved in the resistance, 15 representatives from the CNF down from 27, 8 representatives each from townships without special administrative status, 5 representatives each from townships with special administrative status, and 3 representatives per designated region. In addition to these changes, 12 articles of the 2023 Chinland Constitution, including Article 25, 26, and 27, were amended, repealed, or supplemented. The newly revised version of the Constitution now contains 10 chapters and 2 appendices. The first Chinland Council Conference was held from December 4th to 7th, 2023, at the CNF's Victoria Base headquarters. A total of 235 attendees participated in the conference, including representatives from the CNF, the Chinland Parliament, township and regional groups, as well as local and international observers. Amended Chinland Council Constitution was formally ratified on December 6, 2023. Global Kumi Organization condemns AA's move to include Palawa Township in Rakhine State. The Global Kumi Organization, GKO, has strongly condemned the Arakan Army AA for its unilateral move to incorporate Palawa Township, an integral part of Chinland, into one of Rakhine State's newly formed districts. In a statement released on June 16, the GKO declared that this action was deeply disrespectful not only to the local Kumi Chin people, but to the entire Chin ethnicity. The GKO criticized the AA's reorganization as an attempt to annex Palawa district without the consent or participation of its indigenous Chin resistance. It urged the National Unity Government, NUG, the international community, the Chinland government, and other relevant global bodies to protect the original and rightful claims of the people of Palawa. While historically referred to as Northern Arakan Hill District under British rule in 1876, Palawa has always been governed independently by the indigenous Kumi people, the GKO stated. Beyond its geopolitical significance, Palawa is regarded by the Kumi as a sacred ancestral homeland that cannot be replaced or divided. The GKO further highlighted that Palawa Township has long been officially recognized as one of the 9 townships of Chin State under the Constitution of the Union of Myanmar in 1947, 1974, and 2008. The organization emphasized that Palawa holds irreplaceable culture, historical, and ethnic value to the Kumi people, forming an inseparable part of Chinland's identity. Military and strategically important Palawa Township was fully captured from the military junta by the Arakan Army on January 14, 2024. Since then, the AA has implemented its own administrative mechanisms in the region. In May 2024, the AA announced a new administrative structure for Rakhine State, dividing it into 8 districts and controversially placing Palawa Township under one of them. This move was reported by Rakhine-based news outlet Narinjara on June 12th. Walnguram declared state of emergency amid rising tensions. The Walnguram People's Organization, HPO-CDF Walnguram, has declared a state of emergency in the Walnguram region, citing growing security concerns and the need to uphold law and order. The announcement was made on June 16 following a decision reached during the HPO Office Bureau meeting held on June 15. According to the statement, the emergency measurement was implemented to ensure public safety and stabilize the rule of law in response to the worsening situation on the ground. The declaration came into effect on June 16 and will remain in place until further notice. An official from HPO-CDF Walnguram reported that the Chin National Organization, Chin National Defense Force, CNO-CNDF, recently set up a security checkpoint in Quatlir village, located north of Rezua town. The checkpoint has reportedly been used to inspect travelers and collect money from them, and the move was described as a military encroachment into Huang'orum territory. Quartier village lies along the main travel route connecting Rezoa and Falam, making it a key passage for local resistance. Rezoa town itself is home to one of the Myanmar-India border trade posts, officially recognized as Border Trade Station Number 2. The town has been under the control of the Chin National Army (CNA) and its allied revolutionary forces since it was seized from the military junta in 2023. Since then, local administration in the area has been managed by HPO CDF Huang'orum. Tensions between HPO CDF Huang'orum and the CNO CNDF has reportedly escalated in recent months, triggered by disputes over territory, military movements, and drug-related arrests within Rezoa and surrounding areas. Over 1,000 Chin people killed under military regime, says ICA. More than 1,000 Chin people have been killed during the 4+ years of Myanmar's Spring Revolution due to violent acts by the military junta, according to a report by the Interim Chin Affairs Committee, ICA. From the February 1st, 2021, the day the military seized power, until May 31st, 2025, a total of 1,099 Chin people from both Chinland and beyond lost their lives, the ICA stated. Among the casualties, 328 were killed in airstrikes, 10 were shot dead while protesting, 11 were used as human shields, 63 were tortured or sexually assaulted before being killed, 202 were arbitrarily shot, 24 died due to lack of access to medical care, and 17 were religious leaders. In addition, 361 resistant fighters were killed in combat, and 83 individuals died due to landmine explosions. Of those killed by landmines, 54 were civilians and 29 resistant fighters, while more than 135 people sustaining landmine-related injuries. The ICA cited a 2024 report by the International Campaign to Ban Landmines, ICBL, which ranked Myanmar as the world's deadliest country for landmine-related deaths, surpassing Syria, Afghanistan, and Ukraine. Although Chin resistant forces now control 15 out of 20 towns in Chinland, the continued threat of airstrikes and landmines has prevented many civilians from returning to their hometowns, the ICA noted. As a result, the ICA urged all relevant organizations to intensify efforts in landmine clearance, mine risk education, and establishing mine-free zones to protect civilians and enable safe resettlement and livelihood opportunities in Chinland. And that wraps up for this week edition of VOC English Weekly News. Thank you again for watching VOC. We will see you next time. Goodbye.